Hey. Oh, there's no need for all of that. Just because I'm talking to people doesn't mean y'all need to be all excited about it. I'm saying hey. I just said hey to everybody. They have to get in on the act. Yeah, it's all good. Why don't you go lay down? Maybe start a fire or something. How about that? Would that work? So, you guys, how are you doing? I hope that you will say hi. Tell me where you're from. People are popping in. I need to find the chat window, that's for sure. Let's see, comments and reactions. I think that's where that is. Give me a little hey, make sure that the audio's coming through. And look, I got a haircut. Look how bald I am today. That's a lot of baldness right there. So how are you guys doing? I'm looking for some hello and hey-heys and some, yeah, I'm here, making sure everything's working pretty good. I see one thumbs up and one heart. The puppies. But you guys, I have just had the most amazing weekend. I cannot wait to tell you all about it. Oh, good. Hey, Wanda, Travis, big hugs to you down there, and Joe in Tucson, and Kathy, it's good to see you, and Dawn in New Zealand. Oh my God, I wish I could give you a hug. Linda, it's great to see you. Sheila, oh my God. I'm glad that you're here. This is fun. I'm trying to occasionally just visit with you folks a little bit, mostly to let you know what's going on in my world. This is just, we live in a new day, and this is a great way to talk. Julie, it's good to see you from Adelaide, South Australia. I'm liking this time slot. It seems like there's a lot of Aussies. Hey, Corey, how are you? It's good to see you. My gosh, you should be working man right now. Give those pups a hug for me, okay? Good to see you guys. All right, so I have to start. Let's see. I need to start by telling you that this morning, and you might have saw this on Facebook, but I have to show everybody. We've had a coyote kind of hanging around the house, and that's not good because we do have pups. So we're taking them out on a leash and staying extra vigilant about that. But the coyote was kind of on the main road, which is just right by our house. And it's, when I say main road, it is 3 miles from any road, but still, it's not our driveway. It's the road that comes to our house. And the coyote was just right there. And so Hugo's like, get away, and just looked at him and stared. And we finally chased him off, and that's fine. But then a couple of days ago, he was back just right outside these windows. And I went and grabbed my camera, and all I kind of got was the tail and a bad picture of the head before it ran off. But this morning it was back, and it decided to put on a good show and be right here. So I wanted to show you this photo that I got this morning. Sitting at the breakfast table, I had my big boy camera lens on, and I got several pictures. He wasn't in such a hurry to go, but look at that winter coat and those eyes. OMG, is that not amazing? Kimberly, big love to you as well. Hugs to both you and your hubby. Yep, I'm really excited about that. And I have to show you, I got a 600 lens. So this is the lens I did that with. And it really pulled him close. I would say he might have been 40 yards, 30 yards, 30 to 40 yards away. So I guess that would be about 10 to 15 meters for those of you metric people. Anyway, it wasn't terribly far, but I'm glad I had the lens to get that close. That was really, really fun. So I thought I'd share that with you. And the other thing, so now I'm going to get kind of down to business, you guys. OMG, remember I've been telling you about Papa's Choice and the class. The class was this weekend for the first group. And the next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is the second group. Sheila, you were in my class. I'm really happy you were there. Your quilt is going to be gorgeous, really gorgeous. I love those colors. Anyway, so it was so much fun. I paid tribute to my dad and told dad stories, but then we got into the nitty gritty of how this block goes together. And then I just told everybody, okay, you've got the option to do really organized, or you can go full on papaw. That's what I called it, just all out papaw. And they got to write down what their game plan was. And it was fun to see probably a good 60-70% going, I'm going all out papaw on my quilt. I'm just going to trust the process. And Julie, I'm so happy that you're signed up. That's awesome. So I want to show you guys some pictures. I hope this works. I've never done this before, but I'm going to pop over to my Safari and see if I can find the right place to be, and then share the screen. So I think you can see my screen right here, and I want to be able to show you these images. So I'm going to click to go a little bit fuller so that you can see bigger pictures. But this is just, these are quilts in progress. This is what we've done. And I just love that, like, this one's more solid. Carol Morrissey, who is an amazing quilter. You guys may know her. She's celebrity. As a matter of fact, that's Carol Morrissey's quilt right here behind me. And I know you can't see that, but in a moment you can. It's a Texas horny toad, Texas horned lizard. And Carol is doing the class, so that was fun. And this one is meant to look kind of like ocean and coral, and hand-dyed fabrics from one of my students from way back. And it was so fun to have a reunion with Mary. She's using my hand-dyed fabrics. Teresa is, look at this. Look at these beautiful creams and blacks and large prints, and how the blacks and reds are working together. All the same block. Look at these fabrics, you guys. I cannot be more excited. And so I know that many of you would be excited too, which is the reason I'm telling you, you can still sign up for this weekend. It's going to be a while before I do this again. And listen to me, because even if you can't do it this weekend, if you get in the class, you get all the videos to watch anytime, forever. So you could go back and do it on your own by just watching the video. Look at these fabrics. Are these not awesome? I just love seeing them. They're just, it's fun. So some people, they get 6 blocks up, but you can see what's going to happen, like with those blues. And here's one that's just beautiful with K facets and wonderful textured fabrics. Oh my gosh, look at the organization of this. It's going to have those little diamonds in a square in the middle of each of these. And it's all coming from the same block, you guys. All of these that you see. Fire and ice. I love this. This is Jackie's. You can see everybody's names on these. This is like a rose garden. Just look at this. There's Sheila. Sheila, hello. I know you're still here. I know you didn't leave. There's Sheila's quilt, those beautiful colors. She's up in Jackson, Wyoming. And then here's Susan. I mean, I'm not going to get through all of these, but just look at these amazing images that have come into be. I'm so excited. Inga from Calgary, right? So we've got people from everywhere, and that just makes my heart sing like nobody's business. So isn't that exciting? So you guys, down there at the bottom, it says letsquilttogether.com. If you're interested in joining in that class, I still have the discount through the rest of tomorrow. So if you want to get a little bit a head start and save $25, save 25%, please go in and sign up at Let's Quilt Together, and be sure you select the B, 2024 B, because 2024 A is over. We finished that yesterday. And we watched football. We talked a little bit about football because yesterday was a big football. And then there were people saying, I don't care a thing about football. And that's good too, because we all cut out a different cloth, and we're all different people. But it was so much fun. I had a great time, and I would love to spend my time with you. So that is my papa's choice. I spent some time talking about my dad, and you can pay tribute to my dad. I want to remind you again that these are live sessions, and I'm interacting, and I make comments. I give you guidance. I talk about your fabrics individually and personally. And then, like you just saw, you get to see what everybody else is doing in class, and that becomes a huge inspiration as well. And most importantly, your lessons are there forever and ever and ever. Amen. So even if you have to miss part of it or you can't do it, if you're interested in this fun snuggle quilt, it's just something to love. I would love to have you. So I'm going to look over here and see if there's any questions. Sheila said it was a great class, and and oh my gosh, and Sheila, they're my fabrics. I'm so excited. That's wonderful. That's great news. Let's see. So pretty. I wish I didn't have so many UFOs. Dar, we all have UFOs. It's not going to hurt you to start another one, to be honest. It's like get in there and have some fun and interact, because this is really, really fun. Laura, it's good to see you. Lisa, I'm just starting to sew your blocks. You were in class. Thank you so much. Oh, look at that. She says, I'm an amazing teacher. Thank you, and very patient. I try to be. You guys, the most important thing is that you do something that you never thought was possible, and I really, really, really love that. So it's good to see you, Barbie. Thank you so much up in Washington State. If you guys have any questions, I am here to kind of chat with you. So I'm going to watch the comments. I may miss some, but ultimately, I'm just trying to, connect with you guys a little bit. I don't want to fail to mention that we're going to Ireland in September, and if you would like to participate in that trip, we have just a few more openings. It has filled really well, and it's not a huge group. We're looking at like 30, and I know what it's like to be on a tour with 60 or so people, and it's just not like that. So you get to have some good information, and I'm going to put this up on the screen, because if you think you might be just interested, just get your phone and take a picture of what you see on the screen right there, or jot down that website and head over and look at the photo tours and find mine that's in September of 2024 and read through that itinerary. It'd be great to have you guys on board. I know that some of you, Ireland's a bucket list. Now, if you've never been, I can't even count the times I've been, to be honest. It is just spectacular, and it's so diverse. And even though it's a small island, you end up just seeing so many different things. And one of the things I love about this particular tour is that we will go up into Northern Ireland, which is not the Republic of Ireland, and it's never called Southern Ireland by you guys. It's never that. It is Ireland. It is its own republic. But up in Northern Ireland, Belfast is a city that has just come out of the ashes. I really, really am proud of Belfast. And of course, it's where the Titanic was built. I'm a Titanic fanatic. I don't know if you guys knew that about me, but when I was in St. Louis, I moved there in 1988. And I went by a newspaper place that did old reproductions. And it said, Titanic, great amount of loss, 1,500 souls, died, and all of this. And I got that newspaper. I bought it, and I read a little article that was kind of down on the bottom, and it said, Miss Elizabeth Allen, 15 years old, survives the Titanic. Her residence is at 4140 Lindell Avenue. And I went, oh my gosh. There was somebody on the Titanic that was from St. Louis, and I know where Lindell Avenue is, and I had to go by and drive by the house where this young lady had survived the Titanic. And it started a fascination with me, not with the ship so much. And yes, I love talking about the ship and the different things, but it's the people and the stories that transpired on that little floating city that got me so smitten by the Titanic. So now I want to tell you a fun story. So the 100th anniversary of that crossing and the sinking of the Titanic was in 2012. And it was on the same dates, April 15th, 2012. So the Belfast was going all out. They built Titanic Belfast, which is the most glorious building, looking like the prow of a ship, and looking like an iceberg. It's an amazing facility, and it is built right at the Harland and Wolff shipyards where the Titanic was actually built. The offices are still right there. And on this particular trip, my very dear friends, Bill and Margaret McCrory, Margaret was in the Belfast Opera, and they were doing the musical Titanic. And I got to go for the opening of the musical and be there for the opening of Titanic Belfast in Belfast. And I had no idea, but my friend Margaret had arranged, when I got to the theater for this premiere opening of the musical, front and center seat, front row, dead center. She had managed to get me there. I was so honored. It was amazing. And then, of course, we got to go over and tour the Titanic Belfast. But Bill, her husband, had been an engineer way back in the day, and he worked for Harland and Wolff, not, of course, during the Titanic days, but whenever those offices were still open. So he knew somebody, and they got me into the old drawing rooms for the Titanic, derelict, windows broken, vines growing up the walls of these magnificent old architectural rooms. And then Thomas Andrew, the main designer, I went around the corner and went into his office, and his desk was still sitting there. I mean, it was just, so if you guys, first of all, if you think I'm crazy and excited just sitting here in Colorado, can you imagine what it would be like for us to be together on that tour and going through Northern Ireland and all the way over to the west to Galway and down to Killarney and doing the peninsula for Dingle and the Blasket Islands. Oh my gosh, you guys. So I know I sound like I'm crazy, but you guys, sometimes you put these things on your bucket lists and you just kind of keep pushing them off. Well, here's my thing. Time is my life word. Time is all we have. We sell our time to an employer to make money. Okay, but time is what we've got. And everybody has a start date and an end date. And I promise you, some days we're going to have regrets. So I'd love to have you go on that tour. We have just a few spots open. So I wanted to let you know that. Cindy Neville is here today, and Cindy has been with me to Ireland. So Cindy, I know you would have good things to say. And our director, our guide and organizer, Con O'Leary, is the best in the country. He is amazing. I mean, his love and his passion for the history, for the stories, his attention to detail, to taking care of you and making sure that you are taken care of is unprecedented. So it is not a budget tour. It's not a you're going to sleep in hostels. You're going to be well taken care of, and you're going to have a fabulous time. Hello, Cindy. It's good to see you. Kathleen, it's great to see you. You didn't know that about Margaret. Oh my gosh, yeah, it is amazing. And I'm so happy that you met Margaret. I don't know, Cindy, if you know this or not, but Margaret has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. She's doing okay. She was diagnosed in the very early stages, and they have her on some medication. But I need to give my Miss Margaret a hug so bad. As a matter of fact, I'm going to choke up about it because she is one of the most amazing ladies ever. Margaret McCrory, when she was a school teacher as a musician, she specifically worked with special needs students, and she would kids that could barely talk, she would teach them to bang on a drum, and she would teach somebody to strum a harp or an auto harp, and she would put these kids in a situation to make music that was beyond beautiful, and in many cases where other schools might say these kids can't make music, and she would take them on tours. Can you imagine taking a little choir of musicians on a bus tour, and half of them are in wheelchairs, or they're deaf, or they have other special needs, they're autistic, and I just think she is one of the goddesses of earth for what she did during her time as a teacher. And so I can't wait to give Miss Margaret a hug, and I love them dearly. I swear to God, it is a blessing to meet people like that. And you know what? It happened because of quilting. She came up to me in Houston many years ago, tiny little lady, just as scrawny and tiny as can be, with a cool spiky hairdo and pink ends on it. She was just so cool. And she said, Ricky, my name is Margaret McCory, and I want you to come to Belfast, and don't you worry about the troubles. I've got you taken care of. You're going to be perfectly safe, and I want you to come. And I did, and I fell in love with that country. I fell in love with her and her husband, and I will tell you, this is all because of quilting. And that's just one of many stories I could tell you, and I know that many of you would feel exactly the same, absolutely exactly the same. It is, Laura, it's a super crazy special talent, and I want to just repeat that Cindy Neville just said, yes, Con rocks. Con is absolutely amazing, super amazing. I'm going to switch over for a moment because you guys probably know that I started an AI image club, and I specifically don't say photo because artificial intelligence is creating images, but you don't necessarily, although you can, you don't necessarily take a picture. You are using words to actually make these images. So I want to do a little screen share here with you, and I want to just show you what these amazing images are happening in our club. And this is something you can join anytime. You can go back and watch the early videos and lessons. We do some live get-togethers occasionally, but I just want you to see these. So let me get over here first. I think that will work. And then do a screen share. Oh my gosh. So week 3, our challenge was based on the Snowy Woods by Robert Frost, going by a snowy woods on a winter evening, and the horse gives his harness bells a shake. And whose farm this is, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. So they could use any phrase they want to kind of to depict that. But I do want you to look at this image. This is the one I chose for the image of the week. Just, it's like this traveler has been through the forest. He knows he needs to get home. He's weary, and miles to go before I sleep. You know, I have promises to keep. This was just so special. So this is an AI, artificially generated image. The motion for this just really, really hit me. But you can just look at all of these images. I'm going to go kind of fast through them. I apologize that the actual names of each artist may not show up on your screen, but you just have to see what people do by using words, just words. And so like this week, our challenge is under the sea. Last week, it was amusement park. Sometimes we will use a paragraph from a novel that's descriptive and try to imagine what that would look like if it was illustrated. But holy schmoly, I'm not going to make it through all of these. We've got about 100 people participating right now, and you can just look at the different styles, the different, I mean, look how stylized this is, but it all is inspired by that poem. I love these little gnomes sitting there, and this one where a guy is just kind of in his 1880s outfit, just contemplating. He's just stopping for a moment before he goes on. And oh my God, I was so happy when I saw this because I'm feeling very chauvinistic, and I don't mean to be, but I've always thought of the rider on that horse in that poem to be a man. And I was so elated when I saw that it was a young girl, because of course it could have been. And so that's just, I love that this kind of thing sparks me to think a little bit differently. Look at this one, chosen to be shot from above, down on the frozen lake, as if he gives his harness bells a shake. Just so exciting. So we're doing this now. It's not a yearly thing where it starts in January and ends like my other 52-week challenges. If you are interested in just participating, and by the way, I know that many of you are quilters because my universal family is primarily quilters here. But can you imagine using artificial intelligence to generate this image that you see on the screen right now, and then turning that into a pictorial quilt? Oh my gosh, the possibilities. Look at these. I mean, they look like fine art paintings. Sometimes they look like, photographs. Oh, this one was spectacular. I believe this is Australian, one of our Australian participants, and used the word, it's a snowy winter scene done in the style of embroidery. And then here it is, AI creating an embroidered looking image. I mean, the possibilities are amazing. Okay, I'm not going to keep going with that, but it has just been such an inspiration to see what people are coming up with. When I say amusement park, of course, we know what it looks like, but my amusement park image this week was I wanted a pit bull wearing goggles in the front car of a roller coaster. So that's what I got, was a pit bull on the roller coaster. As a matter of fact, I might as well show that to you, right? Because you'll be mad if I don't. So give me just a second to do that. I can go all the way to the end of this and do a screen share and let you see that. So there. Oh, come on. There you go. There's my AI image of my amusement park image. I kind of wanted Rosie. I didn't quite get Rosie out of it, but just all you had to say, I saw. So my prompt was something like a happy black pit bull with a white chest, wearing goggles, riding in the front seat of a red roller coaster with twists and loops and turns. Something to that effect. And if you just use those words, boom, AI gives it to you. So that is super, super fun. I've had so much fun with that. What software do you use? So one of the things that's a very good question, Laura. We are talking about all kinds of software. I'm using everything from AI Arta to Wonder to Image to DaVinci. I'm using Firefly from Adobe. I've not yet used Bing, and I have used Midjourney. There's just a lot, and we're learning about that all together, by the way. I am not the teacher in this because I'm learning as much. So there are times when we have our live dialogues where people are going, try this, or I explored this and it didn't work, but I explored that and it did work. So that's why I'm calling it a club, because we're all together. And if you'd like to do that, let me get this on the screen, okay? This is where you go. You go to photoclassforyou.com and look for the AI Image Club. I know, Cinda, was that not amazing to see that embroidery? And it's all AI. I have to give you guys a little heads up. Because I am inspired by it and because I am a quilter, I have had a vision for a quilt and I have used AI to help me in that design. And by doing so, I'm not taking the AI image and reproducing it. I made several AI images so that I have a tree from this one, and I have a moon from this one, and I have a clock from this one, and I have a raven from this one. I combine them all together in Photoshop to get the image that I want for my quilt, and then that's going to be my next major quilt. And I am so excited to have had the guidance for the nuts and bolts, and then I do all the lines and the seams and make it work into a quilt. But I'm excited about that so very much. So if you're interested at all in participating, it's honestly, it's a $99 for the whole year. So if you want to hop on, we're not even to February yet. So we're in week 5, and you can easily go back and just watch the videos and get involved in doing that. Oh, Ann, I'm so happy to see you in class next week. Thank you so much. So Ann Rowland is a good friend of my mom and dad's living down in South Texas. And Ann, you are just one of the most inspiring quilters I know. You just stay at it. You love it. You have fun with it. And that is the way it should be. And I just love that. So, all right. I think I said things I didn't mean to say, talking about my dear friend Margaret in Ireland, and Bill, her wonderful husband. But I would love to have you guys, obviously, with me. And so I know I'm here to kind of share with what's going on and things that you can participate. But I really, really would love to just chat with you. So if you've got things that you want to ask or share, I'm trying to watch the comments and do that. Darcis, where do you get the photos set on fabric? So I don't plan to print my photo on fabric. I plan to use AI as my bones of an image and then sketch and draw and do what I need to make my pattern. But having said that, on this particular quilt, I have a clock face that I want to do, and I think I will probably design that clock face in Photoshop, and then I will print that on fabric and incorporate that into my quilt. And there's a reason for that I don't need to go into right now. But spoon flower is the go-to for most people out in the world who want to get their images printed on fabric. Spoonflower.com. And you'll have to learn a little bit about that. I've used them a little bit, and I have some fabrics there that are available for sale. But I many, many years ago, and I'm going to say this has probably been now 12 years ago, I decided I wanted to spend money on a large format printer because I was doing photography, and this printer would also allow me to print on fabric, and I could print large giclée paintings. Oh, by the way, before I forget, there's Carol Morrissey's quilt, all right? There, okay? That little horny toad sitting right there. I didn't want to forget that. But so instead of buying a long arm, which was expensive, I bought an expensive printer. So I have the ability to print my own large photos, but also I can put a fabric medium through there, and I can print on fabric. But most people are going to go to Spoonflower. There may be other places, but Spoonflower's kind of got the corner on the market, and they're very, very good. So Dar, if you're looking to get something printed on fabric, that would be a great and reasonable place to go. You're going to pay a little more than you pay for commercial fabrics, but you're going to have something that's one of a kind, and so I think it's quite worth it. I know Carol Fallert has done a lot with Spoonflower and the way that she's getting some of her designs printed so that they can be done that way. So let me see if you've got any other questions. I don't see any, and I've spent 30 minutes with you, so I think that's enough time to blah, blah, blah. But I hope you've had a fun time visiting with me, and I hope you were inspired, especially by seeing those Papa choices. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So please, if you want to join, just go to, let's leave that one and let's go put it on the other side. Go to letsquilttogether.com, and that's where you can sign up for the Papa's Choice class. It's going to be this weekend. Again, I'm leaving the discount on through tomorrow. So if you want to get in now. Just go now, sign up, get registered. And again, you don't have to be there for the classes if you can't, because once you're in, you have that in your library and you can watch the recordings, not just once, but 10 times, 20 times, forever and ever and ever. Amen. So I think that once you get used to my format of teaching, I think that you might want to do more. So I'm inviting you to stay with me and let's have some fun time together. It's nice to see you too, Laura. You're always such a good, wonderful supporter. I appreciate that very much. All of you that have popped in today, it means a great deal to me. It's nice to see you. And I actually, there was an accident on Facebook and YouTube. It showed that the thing was starting at 10:23 tonight. And no, if I'm doing live at 5, I've decided this is my time slot. I never know what day, but if you see it, it really is, this is the time. So that's awesome. So let's just see what some of you are saying. Yeah. The address it's on the screen there. The address for doing the Papa's Choice is letsquilttogether.com. That's my site, my teaching site, letsquilttogether.com. And if you're interested in the AI intelligence photos, images, that is photoclassforyou.com. It's also on the screen. Get your phone, take a picture of that before it disappears, and then you'll know exactly where to go. I hope to see you guys this weekend. I have room for about 20 more. So, I mean, it's always, I always limit my class, but I know how much I can take before it's too much. So I do have room for a few of you to join. Tell your friends, please, because, I mean, that's part of it. Word of mouth, let people know, because even if you can't, you might know somebody that would be interested, and that would mean a lot to me if you would just share that love. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much, and I'm going to say goodbye, and I will visit with you again a little bit later. Cheers, you guys. Love you all. Bye bye.